It wasn't until I started doing that our channel really started to grow. That was really getting to me. And that honestly, that was happening a lot. And I don't think a lot of YouTubers would really admit that. Even our biggest video, our how we did our greenhouse, it has 400,000 something views on it.
Yeah.
I think we've made Hello, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be diving into what it's been like for us for the first 3 years of being on YouTube. Something we've never talked about on YouTube before, about YouTube.
We want to just touch base why we started,
Yeah.
challenges of balancing YouTube in our life and running Homestead.
Right.
Um,
What it took to get where we're at.
yeah, the technical difficulties, equipment.
The amount of time that it takes to do all of these things.
Yeah, learning how to edit and store files. And
What we've invested into becoming YouTubers financially. What we've gotten out of it. We're going to touch on.
The consideration of not doing it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. The wanting to quit.
I've never wanted to quit.
James has never wanted to quit.
Yeah.
James never wants to quit anything.
No.
But I've wanted to quit. And I have quit for a few months. A couple of years ago. So we started, our journey on YouTube started on January 2021. 9 months after we moved here?
Give or take. Yeah. Give or take 9 months. And we don't know exactly why we actually really decided to do it, but for a couple of reasons. I better hold you. We decided to do it, I think, for a couple of reasons. One being we watched a lot of YouTube prior to moving out here.
Yeah.
People doing things that kind of piqued our interest.
Yeah. So I had never actually been a big YouTuber before deciding that I wanted to leave the city and move out to a homestead.
You're a big YouTuber now, but watching YouTube.
Yeah, I never watched YouTube in the city ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And now, not only is it part of what I do for a living, it's how I've learned how to do pretty much everything that I do out here. I've heard it coined YouTube University, and it's true. Like the first 2 years of gardening and even learning how to do YouTube, learning how to run our cameras, we'll get into all that later. I learned from watching people on YouTube. So I think because we were so involved in watching other people making that step and taking that journey that we have since done while we were still in the city, I found it so entertaining and enlightening and inspiring to watch people doing what we wanted to do so badly. And that got us into watching YouTube. So after half a year or more of living out here, we started realizing how many projects we had that we wanted to do out here and how much is involved in homesteading. And I think one of the first things we thought of was, let's give back to the YouTube community.
Mm-hmm. And also one of the real benefits for us solely, I think, is it's like just a great way to document what we've been doing, to see the whole change of the property.
Yeah.
Michelle's grandfather's been here a few times, and we've shown him some of the videos of some of the things we've done, and absolutely enthralled with it. It's kind of cool. It's like a live photo album. And I mean, it would also carry through to in 50 years or however long. I'm sure there's going to be some form of YouTube or the access to it, but for our kids and grandkids to be able to see what was done is kind of a cool thing, or what the place looked like back then.
Yeah. Yeah. And also James and I were just having breakfast and we were talking about this. So a lot of you know my mom passed away in 2012, and I don't have a single piece of video footage of her. So I don't have anything that I can hear her voice and see the way her mannerisms and how she does things and any of that. And it's becoming like really blurry in my memory when I try to go back. There's a few reasons for that. Number one is because we weren't like a camcorder kind of family. We weren't like one of those families that takes pictures, and also there wasn't the cell phone that we have now that just, you have a camera on your phone. And then anything that we did have was on a single iPad, which unfortunately got destroyed. I don't know what happened to it. The SIM card went on it or something, and nothing was being able to be recovered. So I mean, I don't want to start off dark, but if something was to happen to either one of us, it would be so wonderful to go back through all the memories of us doing all of the things that we've done together and how we interact with each other. And I know that a lot of you really enjoyed that part of watching us too. And so it's multifaceted. Like there's so many good things that come out of YouTube. So I think we should start from the beginning and talk about our journey of just starting out. So we decided to start out for all the reasons that we just mentioned, but I think when you don't have any film background, and you don't have any like directorial background, and you've never used a camera besides your phone, there's a lot of things to learn about making a video for people to watch that's enjoyable. So when you're watching YouTubers and they have all of this really creative content and all these camera angles and the lighting is perfect and you're really enjoying like what your eyes are consuming, that doesn't just happen.
No,
There's a lot that goes behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, like we started with our iPhone cameras.
Yeah.
And
a gimbal.
Yeah.
That was our first investment.
So then we went with a gimbal, and a gimbal is essentially like a balancing device that will stabilize your camera.
Yeah, you just hook your phone onto it.
And I found it reasonably easy to use. However, you didn't like it so much. And then that progressed to another smaller camera from DJI. It was called a DJI Pocket.
Yeah, a little mini camera.
Which turns out that was more for vlogging, and the battery would only last 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it wouldn't last. It wouldn't work if it was too hot, and it wouldn't work if it was too cold. So we'd be filming, and then all of a sudden we'd realize that it had froze or whatever. The camera quality was good though.
Fantastic. DJI makes really good stuff.
We used the drone, the DJI drone.
Yeah, and then we picked up a GoPro.
Yeah.
And then
off Craigslist or whatever.
Facebook Marketplace, but
yeah.
Good success with stuff there. And then so constantly just getting more gadgets and gizmos to try to get different camera shots, different quality,
Yeah.
Trying to get things to 4K.
Yeah.
And then we finally got the Canon camera.
Yeah. Which is the one we're using now.
Yeah, which has really helped streamline like just consistent quality. So you take all these different cameras. Oh, sorry, we missed the drones too. So bought a drone because drones are awesome. And
where we live, I mean, the aerial footage that you can get here, and it just gives you, the viewer, a totally different look at where we're at, and kind of makes you understand where we are in the world a little bit better. And I mean, learning how to fly the drone, James picked it up pretty easily. I've crashed a couple of drones. We crashed one of our drones filming one of our waterfall videos, which I'll link up here for you to watch.
Lost that one.
Yeah.
And then crashed another one.
Yeah,
so on drone number 3.
Now we're on a drone.
You take all these different devices and then you try to put them into one video, and then you actually get different qualities of images.
Yes.
And we didn't even really think about that, but we're trying to capture what we're doing in so many different ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one big challenge.
Yes.
And then we have to store all of the footage and sort the footage and then put it into software, which our first video was...
The very first video that we did was, like we said, we started on our iPhones, and I had found an app where it was like a pick and stitch or something, where you could put together... The roosters are crowing. I hope they're okay. You can pick and stitch your video things together, clips right from your phone. So it's pretty user friendly. You just kind of drag and drop them in. But I mean, that doesn't mean it's easy. You still have to do like timing and sound and all these things. So the first few videos we did were, if you look back, like I've watched a couple of them and they're hilarious. Just the quality, I think we've really improved with that. But you know what we forgot to talk about, and we'll come back to software and like, you know, all the things that we've had to buy to make these videos. Being comfortable in front of the camera.
Oh yeah, that was really hard.
So I had no idea. You would think that if you're going to talk about something you know about or something you're doing, how hard is it to just plunk a camera in front of you and talk?
That took, I don't know, probably 3 months or so to get used to it because you're
Longer.
at some point you just kind of say screw it, I think.
Yeah,
It's easier to be natural.
practice.
Yeah.
It's practice. The more you have the
Yeah.
camera in your face, the more
But
comfortable
also
you'll get.
having intent, so like not just turning the camera on and rambling.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing what you're going to say before you're going to say it.
But it's not scripted at the same time too. Like we're completely not scripted. We have an idea about what our video is going to be about, and then we can talk about it. But we're not going to sit and read a script because that's going to come across as
No, we don't want to do that.
scripty.
Okay, so
must have
that
watched
was a
that.
challenge too.
Very much
So
so.
then software. So then we
Mhm.
went through a
Yeah.
couple different, eventually settled on DaVinci, which is when you first look at DaVinci Resolve, it's a very powerful editing program that has a free version, which I always like free.
Yeah, free, but it was awesome.
And the amount of editing you're able to do with that is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So we've upgraded to a paid version for more for audio
Sound,
reasons.
that kind of thing.
And
yeah.
then the audio is a whole different
we
thing.
don't even touch the surface of what DaVinci's capable of.
Yeah, they use it for Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was easy. Well, James figured out how to use it and then he taught me because he understands how I learn. So I do, when we first started, I think we split the filming and the editing.
Kind of doing one video each.
Yeah.
Like we'd each take one
Yeah.
for a week or however long, and then
Yeah. And then since we've got this Canon camera, which let me tell you, you need a freaking university degree to figure out how to use this camera. I'm still learning. I still have not figured out, spent more time trying to figure out how to do the time lapse on this camera. I want to do that so bad for you guys, but haven't figured it out. But in terms of how it works, lenses, zooms, there's 1,000 different settings that you can figure out. Again, we went to YouTube and we watched tutorials on this specific camera and spent hours and hours filming and watching videos on the computer and touching the screen and figuring out all the settings on the camera on the other one. But yeah, so for putting videos together and editing, so we had to do, like James said, we had to get the software, which was free. We also upgraded our laptop because the one that we had before, I should put little like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching every time we talk about, I think I'm going to, every time we talk about all the things we bought to be YouTuber.
New MacBook.
Yeah, we had to get a new MacBook because it needed the speed or the...
Just mine was old.
I know, but what was
we were rendering a video, so like in order, once you put it all together, you render it and that makes it one file and what we upload to YouTube.
Yeah.
So then my computer would take an hour.
Just
but
to render
the new
it.
computer will do the same thing
10 minutes.
in like 2 minutes.
Depending how long the video is.
Depending on how long the video is, but also editing. So you'd be editing with my computer and it would like
lag.
It would glitch. So you weren't 100% sure at how smooth or how well it was put together.
So frustrating. Yeah. So we wouldn't know like our sound and linking clips together. It would all be lagging and it was just an absolute nightmare. So yeah, cha-ching, we got a new laptop.
Do you want to talk about how you spilled something on it?
And then I spilled a whole beer on it while I was editing once. And now it still works amazingly, but I have to have it plugged in all the time. So yeah, sometimes I'm editing and the cats will knock out the big plug from the wall. And luckily DaVinci is awesome because it's autosave and it's not online, or it is. I don't think it is. Anyway, yeah. So learning how to use the cameras, learning how to edit all the videos, learning how to make the videos watchable. So I've spent hours and days and weeks researching on YouTube. There's so much information out there for YouTubers. It's like how to film yourself in a vlog, how to keep your audience retention, like how do we keep you guys engaged and wanting to continue to watch our videos for longer than 5 minutes. There's endless things, and it will never end for us in the learning department of how we can get better and how we can make better videos and create better content and show what we're doing chucha, in a more creative way that's engaging for everybody. It's absolutely never ending. Hi,
No,
Sean.
so the other thing with the videos,
And the dogs are always in it.
so you have
Always
all your file storage, which is boring, but it's a challenge. And
Yeah, that was another reason we needed the laptop, because we needed more space to store all the files.
but then you can lose files, so then you're trying to find files to show a certain part of a project or whatever it may be.
You're
And then
spending an
and then we
hour.
want to add music, so then you have sometimes we'd spend hours finding the right music for
Sometimes it takes me longer to find the music
than it does to put
than
the
it
video.
does to put the video
Yeah.
together. Sometimes the music comes really easily. So with YouTube, because it's on the internet, your music needs to be copyright protected.
Yeah, so we can't just play like Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, or
which would
Led
be
Zeppelin, or
amazing if we
yeah,
could.
yeah, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, we can't use any of that music, any of the music that we really like, to be honest. Again, cha-ching, we had to pay for a music subscription.
Yeah.
And I've gone through 2 different ones now, because I mean, you go through the music, you get sick of it, and you have to become a filmmaker, you have to become a videographer, you have to become a DJ. What other things do you have to do? A video editor. There's so many hats to wear when you're YouTubing in order to make good content for people to consume.
Yeah, another challenge, I guess, of YouTubing. So I guess we should say like all of the we don't want to come across as though we're complaining. We want to create an appreciation for what it takes to do a video. So when we're doing a project, it's like, okay, I'm ready now, and then you stop what you're working on, set up the camera, or wait for Michelle, or I have to run the camera for Michelle. So everything that we're trying to do, the whole time frame of that actual project is at least doubled.
Yeah, at least.
Right? And we found ways, I think, as we go to try and find the important parts.
Mm-hmm.
And then that rolls into like different types of videos where we can use B-rolls.
Yeah.
Or go back to explain what we did, and hopefully we would have footage.
Yeah.
And then if we're running into challenges with the weather, whether it's raining or snowing
or windy.
We don't really get too much wind, thankfully.
Yeah.
Or if it's just blatantly freezing like it is right now.
Yeah, that's why we're inside. It's minus 20 outside right
Yeah.
now. There's so many factors.
Yeah.
And a lot of videos you might see where we're showing projects where we're doing construction type things, you might notice that I'm not in a lot of the videos, and that's because I'm behind the camera. You know, for us both to be doing something and then making sure that the angles are right and we're changing the direction of where we're shooting to make it interesting for you guys is sometimes really challenging. And we want to get a project done, and you know, James is in his flow and he's doing his thing, and it's like, wait, stop, the lighting's bad, I gotta move the camera. It's like in the middle of drilling. You know, any YouTubers, including us, that you're watching that are doing projects, they're not just talking head videos, give those people your thumbs up and give them your subscription and send them a comment about how good their video is, because honestly, it takes 1,000 times longer to film anything when you're filming and you're doing stuff. I think a big misconception is, you know, just set up the camera and let it roll.
I mean, you can, but it's
not when you're doing stuff and building things. Like, there's so many, you're moving around, your back's to the camera, like there's so many, you know, if you're sawing wood or building something, like you're moving around, you need the camera to be seeing what you're doing. So you need someone to show that, and that takes another person, and it takes time and interruptions.
Lots of interruptions.
Lots of interruptions.
Which
the
I guess
dog's barking.
could lead to the dogs barking. And then one of the real big challenges, I think, for us for creating constant content is we do most of our projects outside, with the gardening, getting set up for spring, and then the construction projects. But that's also when we have all our company.
Yes. So in the spring and summer and the fall.
Yeah.
And that's when we have people showing up
just
constantly.
randomly.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah. In the winter, we're pretty It's very quiet here. It's we'll go weeks without seeing anybody. Because we've mentioned before, we live in a lake community, so most of the people that live out here are people that just come for the summer.
Yeah.
And weekenders. So it's very quiet out here in the winter, but we're completely covered in snow and it's -20, so it's a lot harder to do projects. And therefore, it's also a lot harder for us to find content to put out for you guys every week. But in the summer, when everything's going on, we've got nothing but projects and constant content. It's that balance of being present with family and friends that are here, but also wanting to film everything that we're doing and get all these videos out for you guys. It takes me sometimes 3 days to edit one video. That's not full days. I'm constantly interrupted by the animals, the chickens, other things going on around the homestead. But
making tallow,
doing all kinds of things, cleaning, cooking, all the things. So it can take up to 3 days of, I don't know, like 5 hours a day sometimes to put together a video and get it out. So it can be really hard. And to go back to what we talked about at the beginning, it was during the summer on our second year that I wanted to quit YouTube.
You kind of did.
I did quit YouTube.
I kept filming.
James kept filming.
Which worked out really well because we just kind of enjoyed our summer.
Yeah.
And
got
then
a lot done.
When everybody was gone from visiting, you had a lot of footage to make videos.
I did.
So we kind of kicked back in, and it was kind of a neat way for us to do it because
here's all the things that we did while we thought we were going to quit YouTube.
And then, so it was a lot of work again to organize everything, to make the videos.
Yeah, that was a big one to put together.
I'm glad we didn't not do it. And that's why I continued to film and try to capture what I could.
James seems to can see things a little bit further in advance. I'm just like, I'm done. I'm quitting. This is too much. And we're not getting anything out of it. We're going to get to that in a minute. But actually, when I was inspired, so let's talk quickly about who's your favorite YouTuber. And it doesn't have to be a Homestead YouTuber, because James watched YouTube before. Like, is Joe Rogan, like, what's the most thing?
I listened to Joe Rogan, but one of the more interesting people I found was Chris Harbour.
Chris Harbour. Yeah. He inspired a lot.
Yeah.
Our Hobbit Hut.
He's really cool. Check him out. It's Chris with a K.
Yeah.
HARB.
We'll link.
OUR.
We'll link him in the description.
He's done a lot of really cool stuff for self-sustainability in Wales.
Yeah.
Really creative and talented guy.
James was inspired to build our Hobbit Hut, the reciprocal frame roof, which is in the first year of all our videos. That was a lot of the content we were putting out, was James putting that together. And just to shout out my wonderful husband here, James did most of the filming, all of the building, and all of the editing for all of those videos. You did.
Yeah.
He would be flying the drone, had a camera set up. I think at that time it was still our
Mini.
Was it the Mini?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it would only last I tried to time lapse and it overheat.
So flying the drone,
build the hub,
and then wood ninjaing over the. And I'll show you some footage of that all at the same time as building this amazing reciprocal framed roof. So good job, babe.
Yeah, that was good intro to how to be a YouTuber. Like, wow.
Juggling. How many hats can you wear? Super juggling. I remember I went away. I think I had to go back to take care of business or whatever in the city. And I came back and he had, one of the whole roofs done and a video fully filmed and edited and ready to be put out. So that was really cool. But it was... Yes, you were. But that was so when we decided to come back. Okay. So my favorite YouTuber. So you're Joe Rogan, you listen to, and Chris Harbour.
Yeah, we watched like some other van ones, like Even and Beck is kind of one of the ones we would watch.
Yeah.
There's quite a few other ones. Like locally, we watch This Off-Grid Life.
This Off-Grid Life.
West Kootenays. And it's really kind of interesting to watch somebody close to you to see what they've done and how their channels have grown.
They have, I think that I want to shout out This Off-Grid Life right now, because They've been on YouTube for 5 years. They started out with just a schoolie and some raw land in the West Kootenays, which is just a few hours drive from where we live. And they built their house. They live completely off grid. They have goats and chickens, and they did a live. And Katie was the one that was doing most of the filming and I think all of the editing. And then they would put their videos together when Greg, her boyfriend, he was working full time, I think, as a roofer. And they reached 100,000 subscribers, and Greg was able to quit his job. And now they're full-time YouTubers, and they have paid sponsorships, they've got merch, they've got Patreon people, they've got memberships on their YouTube, and then whatever they're making from YouTube. So that fully inspired me to jump back on the wagon to get back into YouTube, because I think that our end goal is
It would be nice to
it
have
would be nice
passive income from it. For
it
sure.
would be nice to have James not have to go and work outside of the homestead.
Mhm.
In my opinion, my goal is that James stays home and we accomplish all of the projects that we have planned here, and we film everything and put all of our energy into YouTube and be able to reap the rewards of that financially.
Mhm.
And
Just to get like it's again more self-sufficient freedom to a degree, right?
yeah, yeah. But I mean, James is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to building. We're doing this whole rammed earth thing, which is
We found on YouTube.
we found on YouTube. Everything that we know about round earth. We have a consultant as well, Max, who was here for our workshop, but
Mm.
a lot of what we learned was on YouTube, and a reason why we focus a lot on our channel about the round earth is because there actually isn't a lot on YouTube.
There's not enough.
There's
No.
not enough on YouTube about round earth. So that's another reason we're back and we're doing what we're doing. Yeah, my favorite YouTubers are Eric and Ariel from
Alaska.
what is it? The Simple Living Alaska. I don't know why it's always so hard for me to remember their channel. I watch every single one of their videos. I'm going to link them down below too. They're the ones that inspired this camera that I have as well. They are awesome. They've been on YouTube for, I think, at least 8 years. They started out in Portland, I think, and they're living off grid in Alaska and just like doing all the things. In fact, most of what I learned about gardening was from Ariel. So Ariel, if you're watching this, thank you. You inspired me and taught me so much about gardening. Yeah, it's really cool to be part of the YouTube community, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard work. Someone told me, and a lot of you know who this person is. It's my aunt, Janine, and I won't say anything more. She had a very large YouTube channel, and she told me the best advice that she gave me when we first started was YouTube. You need to think of YouTube as your job, as your full-time job. And honestly, it wasn't until I started doing that our channel really started to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I unfortunately didn't feel I had the capacity to add that to everything else that I made.
No, I just sort of took the bull by the horns because, you know, James still is still going out and is the breadwinner right now for us, and I needed to do something. I needed to kick our channel up a notch. It can be really frustrating to put out a video and get 300 views and lose subscribers. Like your subscriber count actually goes down. That was really getting to me, and that honestly that was happening a lot, and I don't think a lot of YouTubers would really admit that, but that
You gotta persist though.
happens. Yeah, and it's really hard to keep motivated when that's happening, because you're not making any money from YouTube if you're not getting a minimum of 50,000 views on your video. I can tell you right now. And I don't know if other YouTubers would want me to tell you this, but it's true. There's videos that we have that have, 4,000 views. We maybe made $14.97 on those videos.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I
97
didn't know it says what it says on there. Even our biggest video, how we did our greenhouse. It has 400,000 something views on it.
Yeah.
I think we've made five or $600 on that.
No, I think just cracked $1,000. And
Really?
that's Canadian dollars.
Canadian dollars. We're talking everything in Canadian dollars here. It's, you don't make very much money. So what I'm realizing right now about YouTube, because I am considering it my job. I have my side business, new website with my homemade body care products. But this, I really want to do something on YouTube. Like I said, I'm very inspired by those other YouTubers that I mentioned, and I'm very inspired to get James out of working or having to work and here on the homestead.
No, you just want me to work here, not.
I just want James to work here. I just want him here every day so we can finish the greenhouse, so we can build the carriage house, so we can build the house, and we can do all the things. And I know I can make this happen. There's a lot of factors with YouTube. So with how much money you make on YouTube. So when I talk to people, there's a big misconception. Some people think that you make $1 a view. Like I've had people be like, well, don't you make like $1 a view? We're not going to get into all of that analytic stuff, but there's so many factors. YouTube decides what your CPM cost per.
It's the cost that advertisers pay, and then the cost that
They decide what that is. So we have some videos
that goes up and down depending on the time of year.
Yeah,
right?
What your content's about, how many people are clicking on your videos. There is so much to that. Like some videos we make $19 per 1,000 views, and some we make $4 per 1,000 views. And there's no rhyme or reason as to why that is. We just have to go with it. That's what YouTube's decided. At the end of the day, to kind of sum it up, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. What matters
It does if they all watch.
No, then when we finish. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. What matters for us to make money on YouTube and all YouTubers is how many people watch your video, and for how long they're watching the video, and if they are letting the ads run through or they're clicking skip ad.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as you hit that skip ad, us YouTubers, we don't make a cent. So those ads that are non-skippable, I know they're really annoying, but that's really the only way that we're making any money from you watching our video. Now that's just on YouTube. So you'll see a lot of YouTubers that will do paid promotions. So they'll do stuff with AG1 and what else are people doing? There's all kinds of things. Blue Eddy, like all kinds of sponsored. So that's a good way for YouTubers to make money. But again, you have to have a certain amount of followers, you have to have a certain amount of views. They want to see all of that data from you.
We've had people reach out to us for partner programs, they kind of call it, but we don't really want to do ads.
Yeah, we don't want to do ads. We don't want to stop our video and be like, hey, have you checked out this thing? We would rather just use something that we think is good, and you guys see us using it, and then maybe have a little linky link down there. I guess basically what I'm trying to say and what I've discovered is unless you're getting 100,000 views per video, you're really not making any money on YouTube, just from YouTube ad revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the video that I put out about me escaping the rat race has just over 200,000 views. That was the only video that we actually made money on.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Out of all the other views, I think we have 200, maybe 300 videos. It says on our channel. At least 200 videos that we've done, and only one of them has really made us money that I would consider worthy of my time and effort that I put in.
Yeah.
So, finding that way to push yourself through the algorithm and trying to figure out what people want you to say or what you want to do or watch. It's such a crapshoot.
Yeah, but we've always tried to do a video that about what we're doing. Like we're not trying to put out a video.
But what we think you want us to do.
Yeah. Like that's one thing we agreed upon in doing this, is we don't want to just make something for the sake of making it. We want to it has to fit into our overall goal of doing work here and what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's super important. We're not gonna
Absolutely.
we don't want to just make something for the sake of it.
No, nor do we look at other people who are doing really well on YouTube and try to copy what they're doing because it's working for them. That's not what I think is what you should do. But yeah, like I had I had retail stores in the city, and I was able to watch people come in and interact with them, and I consider you guys, the viewers, my customers. When I had my store, a huge part of what made my store great was that I would watch how people would take in the store, how they would walk around, what they would say, what they would touch, what they would like, what they would not like, all of those things. And something that I find really difficult on YouTube is, besides the comments, I've got nothing. Like, I don't know why you're seeing my thumbnail and being like, nope. And I don't know why you're watching my video for 2 seconds and being like, nope. Or why you're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm going to watch the whole thing right till the end and then I'm going to watch it again. Like, I have no way of knowing your reaction.
Unless we get comments.
Unless we get comments and
or likes.
Or likes. We can also see view duration on our chat, like on the back end of YouTube. So there's a few things that we can, but I'm a real like tangible person. I want to like see someone's expression and how they're consuming our content. And you're not able to do that. There's no
Imagine
way.
if you could.
That would be, maybe that's the next step YouTube needs to go to. It's like, turn the camera around to the person watching you. Let's see how they're taking in our content. What part are they getting bored at? Like, where should I speed this part up? So it's a lot of just guessing and hoping and wishing and praying and just doing our best and putting it out there and hoping that you like it. What else do we need to talk about?
So all in all, our experience on YouTube has been really positive
It
as a
has
whole.
been. Mhm.
I think the challenge is learning to manage everything and organize everything and learn new equipment is probably the biggest challenge. And I mean, time, yeah, and a bit of discouragement with low views in some cases, but
And losing subscribers.
to see the overall progression and growth is rewarding.
Yeah.
So thank you all for watching.
Yes. We've had a lot of people that are close to us that watch our channel. Charles,
Yeah.
I know you're watching this.
Gives us encouragement.
Very much.
Yeah.
In fact, you were on a phone call with Charles, and it was when I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
And James had him on speaker. Charles is a guy that James has known for 15 years. That is one of his really good trades from the city that comes out here and does work. He's a huge YouTube watcher and loves our channel. He comments on every video we put out. He encouraged me back. He was the one that, like, just listening to him talk about how you guys have something, you could really do something with this. You just got to keep going. You got to keep persevering. He was the reason why I decided to start back up again.
Sweet. Thanks,
Yeah.
Chuck.
Thank you, Charles. He's a big fan. We also have Lainey. Lainey is like our #1 fan. I've yet to meet Lainey. Hi, Lainey. We love you. She comments on every single thing, both on YouTube and Instagram. She's a huge encouragement. And sometimes when I don't know what to do or know what to say, I actually visualize myself talking to you, Lainey, and that's it. And it gets me through the video. So thank you. I think, yeah, just the feedback from people, the inspiring people part really puts a pep in our step for getting this done. Yeah.
Connections to people from afar. It's kind of interesting, and I mean, with Michelle's new business venture too, we have people from all over the world who watch the videos. Like we've shipped to the States. We have people sending messages from Belgium, all over Europe,
Austria, Australia,
Asia,
everywhere.
So really, the reach is incredible.
Yeah. My small business that I have, that I'll link the website down below, blew up after I promoted it on one of our last videos, and I got a ton of orders. I was just swept off my feet. It went into full boom mode, and that never would have happened if I wasn't on YouTube. I would have had to pay Google for advertising. I would have had to get out there and slough around and promote myself, which is fine. I've done that before. But YouTube was a huge push for that. And you get such a reach, a worldwide reach with YouTube. So even if you're not making money, from your videos. If you have a product or a service, YouTube is a really good way to advertise. To advertise that.
We really appreciate the support too, because a lot of people I think are doing it to support us in a different way.
Yeah,
And getting something in return. So,
Yeah.
and it's a good product. So,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
So that leads us, I guess, to, sorry, were you going to say something?
You're up.
That leads us to, I guess, talk about, like, to summarize that, all in all, if we were going to give anybody that's thinking about starting a YouTube channel or is just starting out and you're not sure, or, you know, any of those doubts or concerns, I would say figure out the reason why you're doing it and remember that reason every single day and go into each of your videos with that reason why you're doing it. I think it has so many benefits.
I think doing it solely to monetize is probably the wrong idea. It's like we've said in the past too, for us to do something, we want to have a passion for it, and then money will come, and it's slowly working with YouTube in more than one way.
It is.
But again, reasons for us was get the word out about Round Earth, show people what you can do, get out of the city. There's more than one message with what we're doing, and I mean the gardening, how good the food tastes. Like, I think in time people are going to become more aware of this, and hopefully they can watch our channel and learn from our mistakes or tips or
be inspired by what we've done.
Yeah, it's completely achievable. So YouTube's great for that. And I mean the rawness of it is also, it's not, we try to do a bit of polishing on our videos, but not too much.
No, there's it's pretty real. It's really real, actually. We even show you some bloopers, which are hilarious. But yeah, so I guess to summarize would be, if you're doing it just to make money, it's going to be tough.
Unless you've got a really good idea, and
unless you're Mr. Beast.
Yeah, Mr. Beast. Unless it's definitely possible. So, but
it is, but I don't think for the majority of the population, like I think there's maybe a 0.01% of the population that makes money, like their first video goes viral. That's so rare. It's a tough climb. It's a big climb, and it's
a lot of content.
A lot of content and a lot of work. But eventually it will pay off. And you know what they say, you know, it's not going to happen in your first year. It's not going to happen in your second year. It's probably not going to happen in your third year. But if you hold on to your fourth or fifth, sometimes sixth, that's when things can really get big for you. And that's exactly what happened with This Off-Grid Life. I think they were in their fourth year when they really, you know, I won't go into them anymore, but they're doing really well from what I can see. And it takes time. It's not a overnight success story for 99.999% of the population. That's all I gotta say.
Your zeros and nines added up to 100.
Did they?
I think so.
Anyway, thank you, everybody, for watching, for supporting, for commenting, for liking, for buying my product online. You'll be getting it soon. It's all been shipped, but it's all gone to the States pretty much. There's a couple of Canadian people, but you'll get it, and let me know how you like it. But thank you so much to everybody who's been following along. New people and people from the very beginning. We appreciate you so much. We're not going anywhere. We are committed. We have some big things planned for 2025.
Yeah.
We do.
Stay tuned.
Very much stay tuned. We're very excited to get back outside and get working on the greenhouse. And yeah, just thank you. I hope that this video helped you. I hope it what you were looking for. And we will see you
later
on the next video.
Do you want to walk now?